Good morning, this is Angela with Parco's Permaculture. It's first thing in the morning. My voice is still a little bit hoarse, a little bit bleary-eyed. I've only had 1 cup of coffee, but I'm trying to get out here this morning to do a little slug picking before my kids get up, before I get to other chores. I wanted to share with you one of my tips for reducing slug predation on my green beans. In late April is the time that I start planting bush beans. Now, bush beans are a favorite of slugs. And in the Pacific Northwest, slugs are abundant. It's just the reality of where we live, and it's something that is endemic to our system, and we have to deal with it. So I try and turn slugs into a resource. That's why I have ducks. My ducks would prefer to eat slugs over just about anything. Unfortunately, the order of their favorite foods goes like this: slugs, comfrey, bush beans. So I can't just let my ducks roam in my bush bean patch and filter out and pick out all the slugs, because they will also mow the bush beans to the ground. So what do? I come out in the morning, take 5 minutes, hand pick slugs, feed them to the ducks with breakfast. But I also have another strategy. If you want to check out my video on using dog hair, human hair, sheep's wool to deter slugs in the garden, I'll have a link in the description, and I'll throw it up here as well. So the secret that I have found through 20 years of trial and error gardening is to use purple and red varieties. If you ever notice when you plant out your mesclun mix, the green varieties are much tastier and much more nibbled by slugs, and the red varieties of lettuce tend to be left alone. The same is true for bush beans. If I grow green bush beans, slugs are gonna go to town on them. However, I found that purple bush beans, like this Royal Burgundy, are much less palatable to them, and I have a much higher success rate. Even if I get a little lazy or overscheduled and I forget to slug pick in the morning, the Royal Burgundy ones do much better. They have green leaves with a purpley blush to them and a purple stem. The beans themselves are purple, but they turn green when you cook them. So you can't tell the difference on a cooked plate. I find raw, they're very pretty when they're picked young and put in salads, but they do turn green when you cook them. They have a lovely purple flower, and slugs don't like them as much. Found the same to be true for cabbages and kales. The red and purple varieties are not as appealing to slugs. So a lot of permaculture for me is about working smarter, not harder. It's about conserving resources, conserving my energy, because I have 4 kids, eldest of which is very generously offered to let out the poultry this morning. And I want to find shortcuts that make gardening easier for me and more successful, because if it's more successful, we're going to do it more. So now I do plant plenty of green bush beans. I am out slug picking in the morning. I find though that the early bush beans are better if they're purple, because the ground is more moist, the temperatures are cooler, slugs are more abundant. If I plant out a later round of bush beans, that's when I go for my all green ones. It's sunnier, less of a slug problem. I've already reduced the slug population significantly the first several weeks of the gardening season by picking every morning, and then my green beans that are truly green are going to be more successful. So I hope those tips help you. Consider growing Royal Burgundy. I think it's a great bush bean. It's pretty in the garden and it's very, very tasty. Also, same thing for runner beans. You definitely want to slug pick in the morning. Definitely want to use things like wool and hair around the base of your bean plants. I'm also going to have a few more videos the next coming weeks about other strategies I employ to get rid of slugs in my garden, to use them as a resource and turn them from garden pest into delicious duck eggs. So I hope you tune back in. Thank you for watching. Hope this little tip was helpful for you. If you got something out of this video, please like it, please share it with your friends, and please consider subscribing. Helps support my family and means a lot. It helps me be able to make a lot more videos. So thank you. Enjoy your gardening. If you are in zone 8B, hope you're getting those bush beans in the ground. I'll be back.